Wherever you are right now, let yourself arrive here. You don't need to do anything with your body, except allow it to be exactly as it is. Heavy, or light, tense, or loose. Whatever is true right now is perfectly fine. Perhaps you notice the surface beneath you, the quiet pressure of it holding you. Something has been holding you this whole time, without asking anything in return. Let your breath move at whatever pace feels natural. You're not trying to breathe correctly. You're simply noticing that breathing is already happening, has been happening, will continue. There's a place in the mind that exists just before thought, just beneath the noise of the day. You may have visited it without knowing, in the moment before sleep arrives, or in the stillness after a long exhale. Something in you already knows how to find that place, and you don't need to rush toward it. A part of you is already drifting in that direction, quietly. The way afternoon light moves across a floor without anyone asking it to. Imagine you are walking somewhere that feels neither invented nor remembered. A path through low hills. The ground is soft. The air carries something faintly warm, not hot, just the kind of warmth that makes the shoulders drop without deciding to. The light here is the particular gold of late afternoon, that unhurried hour when the day begins to exhale. Trees stand at a comfortable distance, not crowding, just present, the way good company feels. You may notice a sound, somewhere behind the ambient quiet, something like wind in high branches, or the small percussion of a stream you haven't reached yet. Just enough sound to remind you that you are not alone in this landscape. The world is continuing, and in its continuing, there is something steady. You arrive at a place where the path opens slightly, a clearing, perhaps, or the edge of something. And there is a figure here, not threatening, not demanding your attention, just already seated, as though they have been here a long while and expected nothing in particular. You don't need to know who this is. Something in your body will recognize them before your mind does. This is someone who has seen you, not the version you perform for the world, but something further in the part that is tired, the part that has been careful for a long time. They don't speak immediately. That itself is a kind of gift, to be near someone who doesn't immediately need you to be different. You sit somewhere nearby. A bird calls once, and then is quiet. The figure beside you remains, doesn't shift away, doesn't check whether you're doing this correctly. A part of you, perhaps a young part, a part that learned long ago to scan every room for signs of danger, begins very slowly to soften. Not because it decided to, because the evidence, accumulated quietly in this moment, begins to suggest something different than what it expected. You are not about to be left. You are not required to earn this. The warmth in the air doesn't ask what you've accomplished today. The ground beneath you holds your weight without condition. Some part of you may resist this. That's all right. The part that resists has good reasons. It learned what it learned in order to protect you. You don't need to argue with it. You can simply notice it. The way you'd notice a child standing at the edge of a room, not ready to come in yet. There's room here for that part too. Begin gently to feel the edges of your body again, the weight of your hands, the temperature of the air against your face. Carry something back from this place. Not a lesson, not a resolution, just a trace of what it felt like to stay somewhere without having to justify the stay. When you're ready, there's no hurry. Let your eyes find the room, the ordinary objects, the ordinary light. You've been somewhere, and something in you has been, for a few minutes at least, held. That is not nothing. You don't need to arrive perfectly. You can come as you are. A little scattered, a little worn. Whatever the day has made of you so far is welcome here. Let your weight settle where you are. Not trying to relax, just allowing gravity to do what it was always going to do anyway. Notice, if you like, the quality of air in the room, whether it's cool or warm, whether there's a sound in the distance, traffic or wind, or something quieter you haven't named yet. You belong to this moment, at least whatever else is uncertain. That much is true. There is a particular kind of tiredness that has nothing to do with sleep. It comes from spending years slightly braced, slightly translated, being almost yourself in every room, but holding something back, some essential frequency that you learned somewhere along the way wasn't quite welcome. A part of you knows this tiredness intimately. It has been working very hard for a long time, and we're not going to ask it to stop working today. We're just going to let it rest its eyes for a little while. Something in you may already be softening at the edges, just slightly. The way ice doesn't dramatically melt. It simply becomes, at some point, less ice than it was. You find yourself near water, not the ocean, something smaller, more personal, a lake, perhaps, in early morning. The surface still, the light arriving quietly, as though it doesn't want to disturb anything. The shore beneath you is neither sand nor stone, but something in between. The kind of ground that gives slightly when you stand on it, as though the earth itself is offering a little give, a little accommodation. There are others here. Not many. You sense them more than see them. Figures at the water's edge, standing or sitting, each one in their own kind of quiet. They are not watching you. They are not waiting for anything from you. They are simply here, as you are here. Each arrived with something they carry. Each arrived, somehow. Anyway. Pause here. Listen to the water. You walk toward the edge and look down. Your reflection is there, but softer than usual, more patient. The water doesn't show you the version of yourself that you critique in mirrors. It shows something earlier, something that existed before you learned to find yourself lacking. A part of you, perhaps the part that always felt slightly beside the point, slightly adjacent to where belonging actually happened. This part is watching, cautious, It has been disappointed before by places that looked like home and turned out to be something else. You don't need to convince it. Just let it watch. One of the figures nearby turns slightly, not toward you with expectation. Just a turn that acknowledges your presence the way one candle acknowledges another in a dark room. Not merging, not demanding, just a small recognition. You are here too, offered without agenda. And something happens in the body then, small, probably imperceptible from the outside. Be settling. You've spent a long time earning your place in rooms, calibrating your volume, editing yourself down to something more acceptable, more portable, easier to carry for other people. What if that was never the requirement here? The lake doesn't ask the morning what it plans to contribute. The shore doesn't require the water to justify its presence. And somewhere in your nervous system, beneath the architecture of all that careful management, there is a knowledge, quiet, animal, older than language, that says, you were always supposed to be here. Let that land somewhere, don't think it. Just let it find whatever surface it finds. The figures at the water's edge remain. The light continues its unhurried arrival. The part of you that was cautious is still there, but perhaps it has sat down. Begin to feel the room returning around you, the weight of your body in its seat, the texture of whatever your hands are resting on. Bring with you, if it's willing to come, some small residue of this, the quality of a place where your presence required no justification. Not alone, not performing, just a moment. Let your eyes open when they're ready. The ordinary world is waiting, as it always does. But something in you has just practiced, for a few minutes, the felt sense of belonging, not because you earned it, but because you arrived. The practice accumulates quietly, the way water shapes stone, not through force, but through return.
Come in from whatever you are doing. You don't need to leave it perfectly. Just set it down, the way you'd set down something heavy at a door. It will be there when you return. For now, just this. Let the body find its own arrangement. Not the arrangement you think you should have, the one that's actually true right now. Notice what's behind your eyes. Not thoughts exactly, more like weather. Whatever climate is living in there today, you don't need to change it. Just acknowledge it the way you'd acknowledge the sky. It's doing what it's doing. There is a particular ache that doesn't have a clean name. It lives somewhere between loneliness and invisibility. It is the feeling of being in a room full of people and still somehow untranslated present, but not received, speaking but not quite heard. Most of us have arranged our whole lives around managing that ache, building versions of ourselves that might finally be seeable, legible enough. A part of you has been working that project for a very long time, and it is tired in the specific way that only years of effortful self-presentation can make a person tired. Let that part know it can stop working for just these few minutes, that nothing is being evaluated here. You are in a room you didn't expect. Not a landscape this time. A room, old stone walls perhaps, or plaster worn smooth by decades of hands. A single window, the light coming through it is neither morning nor evening. The room is warm. There is a chair. You sit. And then you become aware that you are not alone in this room. There is a presence, not a person exactly, or not only a person. Something older than person. It does not look at you the way people look at you. Measuring. Comparing. Deciding. Somewhere in the walls of this room, very quietly, you hear something, a sound like wind. Words arrive in the room, not spoken exactly, more like recognized, as though something you half knew has simply been confirmed. I knew you before you knew yourself. Not a boast, not a demand, just a fact offered quietly. The way someone who loves you might say. I remember when you were small, not to diminish you, but to remind you that you have been witnessed across a longer arc than you imagined.
You are not the sum of what was done to you. Something in the chest may move at that. It is the part of you that hides. I have already seen it, and I am still here.
A part of you, the one that learned early that being truly seen was dangerous, that visibility invited criticism or abandonment, or the specific cruelty of being known and still found insufficient. This part is listening very carefully right now. It doesn't fully believe what it's hearing. That's all right. It doesn't need to believe it. It just needs to hear it. Because something in the nervous system doesn't require belief to begin its slow revision. It requires only experience. And this, what is happening in this room, in this light, under this quality of attention, this is an experience. You are being looked at without being assessed. A warmth behind the sternum. An exhale that is slightly longer than the ones before it. The presence in the room has not moved, has not grown impatient, has not shifted its gaze to find something more interesting. It is still, simply, here, attending. Even your confusion is part of the design. Even your wandering has been a kind of finding. The light in the window begins, almost imperceptibly, to shift, not darkening. deepening the room, taking on the quality of late afternoon. In a place you loved once without quite knowing you were loving it.
Before you leave this room, let yourself receive something, not wisdom, not instruction, just the felt sense of what it is to be seen by something that does not need you to be different. Your existence is not an accident that needs justification.
You don't need to prepare for this one. Just arrive. Whatever is true in your body right now. The tightness, the tiredness, the quiet hum of whatever today has been. Let it be exactly as it is. Place your hands somewhere comfortable. Notice their weight, the small warmth they carry. Take one breath that's slightly slower than usual. Not performed, just offered to yourself. We are going to visit something today that most people spend considerable energy avoiding. Not because avoidance is weakness. Avoidance of this particular thing is one of the most intelligent adaptations a nervous system ever developed. But you are safe enough right now to look at it from a little distance. Shame is not guilt. Guilt says, I did something wrong. Shame says something far more total, far more devastating. I am something wrong. Most of us receive this message not through cruelty alone, but through the ordinary gaps of imperfect love. A parent too overwhelmed to turn toward us at the right moment. A classroom that laughed, a relationship that ended in a way that felt like verdict. And somewhere in us, a very young part drew the only conclusion available to it at the time. The problem is me. That part is with you now. It has always been with you. It has been working faithfully and exhaustingly to keep you from being exposed. Keep you small enough to be safe. Keep you performing well enough that no one would look too closely. Let it know it doesn't have to work right now. You are here. You are paying attention, it can rest. You find yourself at the edge of a forest. Not the gentle forest of other journeys. This one is older, darker at its interior. The kind of forest that appears in stories not as backdrop but as threshold. The kind that knows things. You don't go in. You stand at the edge and you look, and slowly between the trees you become aware of a figure small. The size of a child perhaps, though it's hard to tell. It keeps to the shadows, keeps itself partially hidden behind the width of an old trunk. This is the part that carries the shame. The one that decided long ago that hiddenness was the only safety. That exposure meant devastation. You don't call to it. You don't move toward it. You simply let yourself be seen standing here available. Not demanding anything. Somewhere above, a single bird calls one note, then silence. The figure between the trees shifts slightly, not emerging, just adjusting. Not judgment, not pity. Something closer to recognition. Words find their way into the clearing, not yours, not the figure's words that seem to arrive from the forest itself. From something older than the argument between hiding and being seen. What was poured into you was never yours to carry. Let that move through you however it moves. You were not flawed and then rejected. You were young, and the world was not yet careful enough with you. The figure between the trees is very still, now listening. You take one slow step, not toward it, just within the clearing, just to show that movement is possible, that the ground holds. The wound and the one who carries it are not the same thing. They were never the same thing. Something is happening in your body. Perhaps a heat behind the eyes. Whatever is happening, let it happen. You don't need to manage this. The figure between the trees takes one small step toward the light at the forest's edge. Just one stops, looks at you. And you look back without flinching, without the expression you use when you need someone to think you're fine. Just your actual face, whatever that is today. That is enough. That is actually everything. The forest remains, the figure remains at its edge between shadow and light. Not fully out, not retreating further. Begin to feel your hands again. The surface beneath you. Breathe once, deliberately, as an act of kindness towards yourself. The part that has been carrying shame has been doing so in service of your survival. It deserves not contempt, but something closer to what you'd feel for someone who worked a very hard job for very little recognition for a very long time. Gratitude, maybe, and the gentle news that the job description is changing. Let your eyes find the room when they're ready. You have done something quietly courageous today. You looked at something most people look away from. And you didn't look away. That is not nothing. That is, in fact, where everything begins.
Just arrive. No ceremony. Let the body choose its position, not the idea of stillness, but the actual one it takes when no one is watching. Notice the sounds around you. Near, far, don't name them unless they insist. You are already here. The rest is just settling. Rejection is not abstract, it is physical. Brain imaging shows that social rejection activates the same neural pathways as physical pain. The body does not distinguish clearly between exclusion and injury, both register as harm. So somewhere in you, rejection was not an idea. It was a bruise that never fully stopped being touched. There is a part of you that reorganized itself around it, around being left out, not chosen, not seen in time. It learned timing, distance, preemptive withdrawal. It became intelligent under pressure. This part is not broken. It adapted.
You are in a desert at night. Warm sand still holds the memory of sun. The sky is uninterrupted.
Not dramatic, just absolute stars exist without explanation. A structure appears ahead. A door standing alone, no wall, no building, only threshold. Every rejection you ever carried gathers here, not as events, but as shape. Each no, each silence, each closed space that arrived before you did. You stand before it. The door is not locked. There is no lock, only a decision made elsewhere. By someone with limited capacity, limited fear, limited reach. A closed door often reveals more about the one who closed it than the one outside it. A part of you listens. The part that believed rejection meant definition, that it meant something final about your size in the world. Let it hear this. What turned you away was not measuring you. It was measuring itself. The wind passes once low, indifferent. Beyond the door, not another world. The same desert continues, the same sky. Nothing is after rejection. Only continuation, misunderstood as exclusion. The distortion was meaning, not reality.
You do not need to open the door.
You only need to see it clearly enough that it stops pretending to be a verdict. You were not too much. You were simply encountered by something that could not hold you fully.
Something in the body adjusts, not fixed, just less tightened.
Above you, stars remain different.
Below you,
sand remains warm. Rejection often creates a belief that presence must be earned, that you are somehow outside until proven otherwise. But presence does not negotiate, it only happens. Breathe in.
The part of you shaped by rejection
does not need removal. It needs updated information. You survived.
You are here.
The door was never a measure of you. The desert never confirmed your absence.
The door recedes in importance, not because it disappears, but because it stops organizing the space.
The desert becomes just desert again, and ahead, not resolution, not perfection, but ordinary life. No longer interpreted as admission tests. Life that continues regardless of who once said yes or no. Or no.
Come to arrange yourself. Don't compose your face into anything. Come exactly as you came, unfinished, mid-sentence, whatever the day interrupted. The body knows how to do this, you don't. Feel where you end and the air begins, that border. Skin meeting atmosphere has been holding you in your shape this whole time without any effort from you. There is something almost nobody tells you about grief. It is not only for the dead. We grieve versions of ourselves that didn't survive certain years. We grieve the childhood that should have been and wasn't. We grieve relationships that ended before they were finished. We grieve the futures we held carefully for years and then had to set down. We grieve, sometimes, the simple fact of how hard it has been. A grief with no single object, no grave to visit, no occasion that makes it legible to others. A part of you is carrying grief right now. Perhaps it has been carrying it so long that it no longer announces itself as grief. It has become simply the weight, the undertow, the particular quality of certain Sunday afternoons. That part doesn't need to explain itself today. It just needs somewhere to put the weight down briefly without being told to pick it back up. You are in a city you have never visited but somehow recognize late autumn. The streets are wet from rain that has already passed. The kind of rain that cleans things without drama, that comes and goes without requiring witnesses. The buildings here are old, not ruins, lived in, worn by use, marked by generations of ordinary human passage. Hands on door frames, feet on cobblestones. The accumulated pressure of people. You walk without destination. This is allowed. This is, in fact, the point. A canal runs beside the street, dark water, still, reflecting the iron gray sky. So faithfully you could almost believe the sky lives down there too. That there are two worlds. You stop at a bridge, stone old enough that the edges have softened. You rest your hands on the parapet and look down. There is a figure on the bridge beside you, not summoned, simply already there. The way certain presences are simply already there when you arrive at the places where grief lives. This one is older than the others. Something in the way they stand at the water, unhurried, unfrightened by what the reflection shows. They don't offer comfort immediately. They understand that the first thing grief needs is not comfort. The first thing grief needs is witness. They say nothing for a long time, and in their silence you feel, perhaps for the first time, that your grief is not a problem to be solved, not a symptom of weakness. It is evidence that you loved something, that things mattered, that you were not numb to your own life. To grieve is to have been present enough to notice the loss. Something in the chest responds to that. Some locked chamber briefly unlocks. What you carry is not dead weight. It is proof of what was real. Below on the canal, a single leaf moves on the water. No wind, just the imperceptible current doing what currents do, moving things forward without force, without drama. The part of you that has been holding grief, and holding it alone, which is the hardest way to hold anything. This part is noticing the water too, noticing that things can move, that the canal doesn't refuse the leaf. You're allowed to be carried too, not fixed, not resolved, carried. The figure beside you speaks once more, quietly. You do not need to finish grieving before you are allowed to live the living, and the grieving can walk together. Let that find the part of you that believed grief had to be completed before life could resume. The city continues around you. Someone crosses the bridge behind you. Footsteps briefly audible, then gone. feel the chair or floor beneath you, the specific weight of your body in the specific moment, the temperature of your hands. Whatever you are breathing, named or nameless, recent or old, it has been witnessed today, not fixed witnessed. Breathe once as though you have permission to take up the space that one breath requires. Grief carried alone hardens grief that has been left and begins quietly to move again. You are not at the end of something today, you are at the bridge, and bridges by definition go somewhere, even if you do not yet know where. Let that uncertainty remain gentle, not sharp. Not sharp. Sit as you are, not corrected, not curated. The posture that happens when no one is observing the result. Let the gaze soften or close. Either way, stop negotiating with appearance. Breath continues without consent. This is already the first argument against the idea that you are self-made. Self-worth is not missing. It is mislocated. It has been treated as something that must be extracted from experience, distilled from achievement, validated through selection, stabilized by external recognition. But this assumption contains a hidden error. It presumes worth is a consequence rather than a condition. A consequence can be earned, a condition simply precedes everything. There exists in you a structure that has spent years translating existence into evidence. It collects approvals, compresses them into temporary relief, and then forgets them in order to continue searching. This structure is not pathology. It is adaptation under specific metaphysics, the belief that being is not sufficient without confirmation. It is tired in a way language rarely reaches. You are in a workshop that has no owner in time. Wood older than intention, air thick with dust that behaves like memory made visible, light falling in vertical disciplines through high windows, as if space itself has learned restraint. Nothing here is decorative. Everything is functional without announcing function. At the center, a workbench, and on it, you. Not representation, not metaphor, a structural instance of you before interpretation, before social correction, before the long accumulation of defensive shape. It is unfinished. But incompleteness here is not lack, it is method. There is no attempt to finalize prematurely, no anxiety disguised as refinement, no hesitation mistaken for humility, only precision without apology. The tools are not new, they are not revered, they are simply used enough to have forgotten the difference between hand and instrument. They do not ask what this thing will become. They participate in what it already is. The maker is present, but not positioned. There is no gaze that evaluates, only attention that does not separate object from care. This attention is not emotional, it is ontological, a form of seeing that does not divide worth from existence. The making is not justified by outcome. The making is the justification. And here, something begins to destabilize in you, not emotionally, structurally. The idea that you were produced under conditions of evaluation. Instead, something older surfaces. You are not assembled as answer. You are not initiated as correction. You are not generated in response to deficit. You precede the question that tried to measure you. A clock exists somewhere in the workshop. It does not organize time, it witnesses it. There is a part of you that has been operating under a silent contract. If I become sufficient, I will be allowed to exist without doubt. But sufficiency presupposes a deficiency that was never proven, only assumed. The workshop does not recognize this logic. It recognizes only presence. The light shifts slightly, not symbolically, physically. Dust rearranges itself in new geometry. Nothing changes meaning. Everything changes angle. The maker places a tool down. The gesture contains no closure, only continuation without pressure. And in that gesture, something becomes legible. Worth is not granted after completion. Worth is what allows completion to matter at all. The part of you that has been producing evidence relaxes, not because it has been disproved, but because its premise is no longer structurally necessary. It did not fail. It overworked a misunderstanding. You are not something that must become permissible. You are something that was never conditional, but learned to behave as if it were. Return attention to the immediate. Surface beneath you, temperature of air, weight distributed through the body in exactly this configuration of time. Breathe, once without justification. No conclusion is required. No internal verdict is needed. Only the residue of having been briefly exposed to a different ontology. One in which existence is not awarded but primary. Let this not crystallize into belief. Let it remain as pressure change, subtle, bodily, pre-verbal. Something the system knows even when language forgets. The workshop remains not as escape, but as reminder. You were not built under evaluation. You were built under attention. And attention does not require you to earn being seen.
Arrive as you are, not as you imagine you should be, not as you were yesterday. Just here, a body in a particular moment of the world, held gently by gravity that never forgets its task. It has carried you through every hour you did not know how to carry yourself. Feel that support. Not as an idea, as contact. As something steady beneath change. One breath, unedited. Simple. Real. Trust is often mistaken for certainty, for a clear path, for the feeling that everything is known in advance. But life rarely arrives with such clarity. It unfolds while being lived. It reveals itself only in motion. The seed opens into soil it has never seen. The river shapes its path while already flowing. The day appears before it is understood. Something in existence moves ahead of explanation. When trust feels difficult, it is usually because experience has taught the nervous system to read the world carefully. Not as theory, as memory, as pattern recognition written into the body. a subtle archive of moments where openness met interruption, or where expectation met absence. From that learning, a guardian emerges. Quiet, alert, precise. A part of you that reads tone, timing, silence, that senses shifts before thought can name them, that holds a portion of life slightly back, as if preserving a small interior shelter. This presence is not an error. It is intelligence shaped by experience. It has helped you remain intact. It has learned the cost of exposure and responded with care. And still, life continues to ask for participation. Not total exposure. Not surrender. Something subtler. The ability to remain present while uncertainty moves through the room. Imagine an old theater, built in another century when attention itself was treated as something sacred. Wooden seats softened by time, walls holding the memory of thousands of stories. Dust drifting in thin shafts of light like suspended thought. You sit alone in the audience, the stage is empty. Yet the emptiness feels structured, intentional, almost expectant. As if the room itself is listening for what will happen next. Silence gathers around you. Not empty silence. Full silence. The kind that has depth. The kind that seems to contain possibility before it becomes form. A light appears above the stage, warm, focused. It settles at the center with quiet precision, as if attention itself has chosen a place to rest. Something enters that light, not a character, not a symbol. Something closer to presence made visible. It stands without performance, without explanation. Simply there. And from somewhere within the theater, words begin to arise. Not spoken by anyone. More like remembered by the space itself. The seed enters darkness and finds structure waiting there. Growth begins, where attention agrees to remain open. Let those words settle without effort. This is trust, not resolution, not surrender. A willingness to remain in contact with life as it unfolds, without needing it to resolve in advance. A distant door opens backstage. A faint sound of another world entering and leaving again. Movement. Ordinary life continuing beyond the theater walls. People speaking. Weather shifting. Time passing through cities, rooms, bodies. And something becomes clear in that contrast. Trust has never been absent. It has been happening quietly in every breath already taken. In every moment you continued forward without full maps. In every beginning that arrived before understanding. You have lived inside trust more often than you have named it. The light on stage softens. The figure becomes less defined, yet somehow more real, as if reality becomes most stable when it stops insisting on definition. A final sentence emerges from the silence. Not instruction. Recognition.
Come as you are, especially if something in you is not calm, especially if there is heat, pressure, or a sense of movement that has been blocked for too long. This is for that. Do not adjust yourself, not your face, not your breath, not your inner weather. Let it be exactly what it is. Notice your hands' tension, openness, stillness, no correction. We need to re-understand anger. Not the version we were taught. We were told it is dangerous, that it breaks things, that it means immaturity, that it must be reduced into something safer before it is allowed to exist. So we learn to translate it instantly, into politeness, into silence, into functioning, into the appearance of being fine. But nothing left the body. It only went deeper. It found storage inside you. A quiet room without exits. And it stayed there for years, gathering everything that never got expressed. It is still there now, not asking to destroy anything, only asking to be understood. Anger is not the opposite of love. It is love under pressure. It appears where something mattered. You cannot be angry at what never touched you. The intensity is proof of care. There is anger in you right now. Maybe small, maybe old, maybe carefully buried beneath competence. Let it be here without negotiation. You are in a vast abandoned industrial space. Concrete floor, high ceiling. Light falling in broken beams through tall windows. Dust moving slowly in the air like time itself is visible here. Nothing here can be damaged. Nothing here needs control. The space is large enough to hold what you usually compress. You walk forward. Your steps echo. In the center of the space sits the part of you that carries the anger. It looks up. Not defensive, not aggressive, just tired of being alone. It is younger than expected, as if it has been waiting longer than you realize, as if time did not heal it, only relocated it. Anger held alone eventually becomes grief wearing its shape. You sit down beside it, not above it, not against it, just near it. Something loosens in its expression, not collapse, not resolution, recognition, like a hand unclenching after forgetting it was ever meant to open. It does not need correction. It needs witness. So you stay, and you see it clearly. It mattered. What happened was not acceptable. Both are real. A sound rises in the body. Not dramatic, just truth moving after long containment. You do not direct it, you allow it. This space is large enough for it. The light shifts through the broken windows. The geometry of dust changes. Nothing here demands you become smaller. A truth emerges quietly. Unexpressed emotion does not disappear. It becomes structure. It shapes how you choose, how you love, how you leave rooms before you even enter them. What anger really wants is not destruction. It wants contact. You mattered. What happened to you was not acceptable. Say it inwardly without rushing past it. The part beside you exhales something it has been holding for a very long time. you remain. No fixing, no conclusion, no urgency. Just presence where absence used to live. This is what integration is. Not removal. Meeting. Feel the floor beneath you solid, unmoving. Breathe as if space is opened inside you where there was none before. The anger is no longer isolated. It is no longer waiting in a locked room. Not because it was solved, because it was finally met. And something inside you understands this in a way that words cannot fully carry yet. But the body already knows. It always knew. You are not someone dangerous because you feel this. You are someone who cared enough for life to feel where it broke. That is not a flaw. That is your evidence of being alive.
Sit. Not in the way of arrival, but in the way of someone finally stopping the negotiation with their own weight. Let the body admit what the mind keeps editing out. You are here. That is the first fact that does not require improvement. Breathe once without turning it into a project. Inhale. Exhale. No commentary on it. No evaluation. Just the simple mechanics of being alive continuing without your permission. Now listen carefully, because what follows is not instruction, but recognition. There is a point in almost every life where two questions begin to trade places without consent. What am I for slowly gets replaced by what am I worth? The second question is easier to live inside because it has structure. It can be measured, compared, corrected. It fits into systems. It produces outcomes. It can be answered in ways others can verify. The first question does not behave. It does not stabilize. It does not want proof. It wants orientation. And so the world, quietly and efficiently, trains you away from it. Not by violence, by substitution. Until you wake up one day fluent in evaluation and nearly illiterate in direction. You are not translating yourself into acceptable form. You were simply there, fully allocated to what you were doing. And afterwards, you may have dismissed it, called it coincidence, mood, luck, distraction. But the body does not agree with those explanations. The body keeps a separate archive. It remembers intensity without language. Now imagine a place, a library, but not constructed, accrued. States of being when you were most fully yourself without trying to be. Not impressive states, not optimized states, alive states. The kind of moments where effort disappears into attention and attention stops feeling like effort. Where you are no longer performing a version of yourself for continuity, but participating in something that absorbs the need for performance entirely. Everyone has these moments. Most people exile them immediately after they happen, because they do not fit the official narrative of a life. But exile does not erase them. It only removes them from language. Across from you sits someone, not arriving already there. They do not look like authority. They look like continuity. The kind of presence formed by staying long enough with one question that it stops needing to be answered in order to remain alive. They speak without emphasis. They say that what moved you before you learned what you were supposed to want was not random. It was not undeveloped preference. It was direction without interpretation. And direction does not disappear when ignored. It becomes quieter, not weaker.
Then it returns as restlessness that cannot be fully explained. Not because something is wrong, but because something is unexpressed. They say purpose is not a destination. It is a pattern of aliveness that repeats when you are not interfering with it. Not everything you do contains it, but certain things do. And they are usually the things you do not need to force yourself into when you are already there. The things where time changes texture, where self-monitoring fades, where the world stops feeling like an audience. The figure does not tell you what yours is. That would be another substitution. Instead, they point toward the simplest and most neglected evidence. What returns? What you keep coming back to even after forgetting it. What refuses to disappear, even when you try to replace it with something more practical. They say the unlived life is not absent. It accumulates pressure. Not dramatic pressure, structural pressure. It appears as fatigue that sleep does not fully resolve, as repetition that does not satisfy, as success that does not complete its own promise. This pressure is not punishment. It is continuity seeking expression. You do not need to resolve it all at once. You only need to stop treating it as noise. The library begins to soften, not vanish, become less separate from you. You realize something simple and uncomfortable. You have not been without direction. You have been surrounded by it while negotiating against it. And negotiation is exhausting, because it requires constant distance from what is already true. The invitation here is not to become someone else. It is to reduce the distance, to notice what already makes you most fully present when you are not editing yourself. Purpose does not require reinvention. It requires attention. Not intense attention. Consistent attention. The kind that notices what remains stable across time even when circumstances change. You feel your breath again, not as technique, as fact. You are here, and being here is already enough contact with reality to begin again. Not dramatically.
Sit with the particular tiredness of someone who has been doing the work. Not performing wellness, actually doing it. The quiet, unglamorous daily labor of trying to become more honest about who you are and what you carry. That labor deserves acknowledgement before anything else happens here. Feel the length of your spine, not to correct it, just to find it. That quiet vertical fact of you, the thing that has been holding you upright through everything. One breath taken as an act of respect towards yourself. There is a particular cruelty in the way we imagine our future selves. We make them responsible for what we haven't yet done. We make them the solution to problems we can't yet face. We make them thinner, calmer, more disciplined, more resolved, a corrected edition of the self, finally free of all the things that make the present self difficult to inhabit. And then we resent them, quietly, for not arriving sooner. This is not imagination. This is punishment by proxy.
The future self becomes the jailer of the present one, the standard against which everything now is found insufficient. And the present self, perpetually insufficient, perpetually in the waiting room of its own life, stops fully inhabiting the moments it actually has. What nobody says clearly enough is this: the future self you are waiting to become is not a different person. It is this person, you, exactly as you are right now, having moved through time with more accumulated experience of their own courage, more evidence of their own survivability, more data confirming that the things they feared were survivable and the things they hoped were possible. The future self is not a renovation. It is a continuation. And continuations require something very specific from the present moment. Not perfection, not readiness, just the willingness to remain in contact with the life that is actually happening rather than the life that is being deferred until the corrected edition arrives. You are walking through a city at dusk. Not a city of the future, a city outside of time. The light in the square is almost gone now, that last blue before night arrives. The color that exists only in the transition, that belongs entirely to the moment of change. You will not be the same, but you will be more yourself, which is the only direction worth traveling. The kindness you have withheld from yourself, give it now. Not when you've earned it, not when you've corrected enough. Now, it was always the now that needed it. Something very old in you is hearing this, something that has been waiting, not for permission from outside, but for permission from another version of itself. And here it is, sitting beside you, having given it freely, having learned that self-permission costs nothing and withheld cost everything. The future self beside you stands. They don't say goodbye. That word implies a distance that doesn't apply here. They simply stand, and in standing they become something you carry rather than something you approach. Already present, already here, already, in the most important sense, you. Let the square dissolve gently. The fountain, the blue light, the bench worn smooth by many sittings. Feel the weight of your actual body in its actual seat, the temperature of the room, the sound of wherever you are. Breathe once as though you have more room inside you than you thought. The future self is not waiting for you at some destination ahead. They are the direction itself. They are what happens when you continue, imperfectly, honestly, without waiting for readiness, to live the life that is yours to live. Every meditation in this course has been building toward this. The understanding that the self you are trying to become is not a departure from who you are. It is the full arrival of who you already are. The parts that feel incomplete, they are not failures of development. They are invitations that haven't yet been accepted. Accept them. Not perfectly. Not all at once. Just begin. Let your eyes find the room. You have just met yourself across time and found that the meeting felt less like aspiration and more like recognition. The recognition is the most important thing you can carry forward from this place. Not a goal, not a plan, a recognition. You are already on your way. You have always been on your way. The distance between who you are and who you are becoming is not an obstacle. It is the journey. And you are, without question, already in it. You have been somewhere most people spend their entire lives, standing at the entrance of, finding reasons to wait. You went in. Sit with that, not proudly, just honestly. The way you'd sit with any true thing. One breath, the realest one you've taken today. There is a question so old. It has worn grooves in human consciousness simply by being asked across so many centuries by so many people sitting alone in the dark, trying to understand what they are. What remains when everything that was added is removed? Not what remains when the pain is gone. Not what remains when the wounds heal. What remains when the identities are set down? The roles, the defenses, the accumulated performances, the careful constructions built to survive specific environments that no longer exist. What is there before all of that? And after? Every serious tradition of human inquiry has arrived at this question from a different direction and found at its center the same astonishing answer. Not nothing. Something that was present before the first wound and will be present after the last defense is no longer needed. Something that does not require the circumstances of your life to be different in order to be fully itself. You have spent these journeys meeting your parts, your grief and your anger and your shame and your longing to belong, to be seen, to trust, to matter. Each one real, each one honored, each one now slightly less alone than it was. Feel the weight of your body's specific real. This body that has carried everything through every room, that held the grief and the anger and the shame in its tissues, its muscles, its carefully held breath, that has been the faithful, imperfect, extraordinary vehicle of everything you have experienced. This body is not a problem you inherited. It is the instrument through which something immeasurable has been experiencing what it is to be particular, to be located, to be this person in this life, at this moment, which will never be repeated in the history of the universe. What you are is not diminished by what happened to you. Water does not become less water by having moved through difficult terrain. It arrives at the sea with the memory of every stone, every channel, every dry summer. And it is still, completely, and without apology, water. Something in you has always known this. Beneath the shame and the grief and the rejection and the anger and the lost sense of purpose, beneath all of it, something has been quietly, faithfully, without requiring your awareness, continuing to be exactly what it is. That something is you, the deepest you, the one that was there before the first story was told about you, and will be there when the last one is finished. You do not need to become. You need only to stop insisting that you are not already. The parts you met across these 12 rooms are not behind you. They are inside you. They are quieter now, not silenced, quieter. The way a village is quieter when its people have been heard, when the arguments have been honored rather than suppressed, when everyone knows there is enough room. There is enough room. There has always been enough room. Breathe once, as though you are breathing for everything you carry, for every part, every wound, every version of yourself that didn't survive certain years, but left something behind that did. You are the accumulation of everything that happened, and everything you made of it, and the thing beneath the making that remains when the making is set down. All three, simultaneously, always. Let your eyes find the room, the ordinary walls, the ordinary light. You are not finished. You were never meant to be finished. Completion is not the goal of a human life. Depth is presence, is the willingness to keep turning toward what is real in yourself and in the world, without requiring it to be easier than it is. You have that willingness. These rooms are its evidence. Go now back into the life that is yours. All of it, the difficulty and the beauty and the ordinary Tuesday mornings and the moments of unexpected grace and the grief that still moves through you sometimes like weather. Go is the whole thing, not the fixed thing. The whole thing. That is not a small life. That is not a limited life. That is the only life there is, and it is without qualification, without condition, without anything further required. Yours.